Hey, episode 50! That's right, 50 times I've been doing this, alright? 50 episodes. 440 miles. The lights are on. Yee! I don't know what I'm trying to do. Alright, anyways, so... Alright, so here we are. It's not lights on in this world, that's for sure. I'm sleeping on my side again. Well, what better way to celebrate than doing nothing? Yeah, can't wait. Because you don't care. Enough of this. Right. No, we don't need, Oh. Yeah, you're lucky. No, it wasn't... Get out of the way. In the line of fire. We'll get some Egyptian mythology, not whatever that other thing was. Enough of that normie crap. We need some good stuff. Basically, I thought I would cover all corners here with today's installment, going all the way back from the very beginning, all the way to the very end. I'm talking all the way from first grade up into basically right now. So it's pretty much going to be action-packed from the start to the finish. And, well, basically, it's because, you know, I've pretty much skipped around, and you're already going away, aren't you? My God, dude. I've been basically skipping around and going all around from jumping through time and going back and forth from story to story, taking place all over the map. But this time we're just gonna start from the very basics and talk about what happened and what it led up to. And first year was first grade. First grade basically is the first year where I actually was in school, as for most people. Now this year was pretty simple, but for me it wasn't, because for the most part I spent every single day just at my desk doing nothing but playing with crayons while I used a little folder to cover up my head so that the teacher couldn't see me not doing the work. And then all the other times I would basically just stare at a wall motionless for about 15 straight minutes every single day in class. God fucking damn, dude. Pardon my language. This guy's really just getting on my nerves. That's basically what I would spend my time doing in the class. Just, I would take that little folder that they give you, like, when you take a test, and just cover myself up while the rest of the class was, like, in session, and they're listening to all the teachers' orders. And I was just I had my head stuck down there, I had, like, a whole sitcom going on, with, like, each character was just a crayon. And every time the teacher got really mad and ripped away the folder and then stole the crayons from me and left me with nothing to do. Now that was usually the time I just started sitting and looking at the ceiling for 15 minutes. And they started thinking that I was catatonic and I was going through some strokes or something like that. So the first grade teacher called 911 in the middle of class and evacuated the class one day. While I was just sitting there. And of course I wasn't. I was just bored beyond you could possibly imagine. My brain just doesn't work with doing things related to sitting in classes and listening to things for whatever reason. Basically, especially back then where I just had like no self-control. There's obviously just some kind of medical condition for it, but it's like, it's not really one of those things that's like easily diagnosable. It's like, it's clearly just something that will at all times be described as just laziness from the very first day all the way to the end. Because they don't care, that they only care about getting the curriculum done and getting each student to the next level and then basically moving on and getting paid, and that's basically the whole system. So when one stupid kid decides, nah, I'm just gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna go into a coma for the whole class. Unwillingly, like, that's just kind of how it was. I just always ended up doing that. I wasn't even trying to. Then they start getting a little bit agitated. But anyways, that was pretty much the entire year of first grade. I mean, it really wasn't too good at first. At first. In the first. It wasn't all that good. The teacher really just, had enough of me, for sure, by the end of the year. They couldn't deal with me. I couldn't even deal with me. It was before they had any kind of grades. You just get a report card, and it would have these X's and these different check marks. And it would either be saying areas of concern, or it'd be saying areas of good concern, or whatever the terminology that they use. And then in second grade, it was basically the exact same thing. I mean, but at one point, like, the teacher in second grade just honestly did not put up with me whatsoever. She was having none of my shit whatsoever. She just basically, nah, she didn't care. She was not having my shit whatsoever. She would just start screaming at me, basically. One day, I mean, I'm just like asking a question or something. I'm like really having a hard time understanding what she's saying. And I just keep asking, like, hey, like, you know, what's up, man? Like, no, it's a woman, actually. What's up? What's up? What does this mean? Like, and she's just like, you're supposed to do this. I'm like, oh, well, what does that mean? And she's like, I just said you have to do this. Pay attention in class or something. And I'm just like, okay, but what does that, like, well, how do I do this? And she's like, sit down! Screams, and the whole class, like, silent at that point. Sit down! I'm just like, okay. I'm sitting down now. That year was arguably even worse in first grade. It was just, the whole year I was basically in a, it was like the whole year I was just in a straight up delirium the entire time. I don't remember a single thing other than that happened the entire year. I'm pretty sure that I was literally in a coma like half the time. Every single day in class. The only thing I would pay attention to was just well, never mind, I'm not gonna say it. Third grade came around, and at that point, it was pretty much the stage of me being like the main source of attention. Like, you know, that's when I evolved to the next level. Like, I had to be the class clown and be the main source of humor for the entire class. So that was basically my end goal for that entire year. Fourth grade was the year where I ended up basically going all out 200 IQ. If you ever watched the show Dexter's Laboratory, that was basically the show that inspired me to do that. For whatever reason, I was watching that show all throughout that time, and I was like, you know what, now I gotta be Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. You know what, all of a sudden, I'm smart. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, actually being like, oh, I gotta show up to school, I can't skip a single, I can't, like, be late even 5 minutes, my perfect record will be tarnished. Started wearing fake glasses and a lab coat to school every single day. The principal started talking to the class and saying I couldn't do that anymore. And she was like, no, this is against the rules. You can't be dressing up with a lab coat every single day. But I kept on doing it anyways. And they just put up with it. The entire time in that year I was trying to get from the middle class over to the accelerated class. I guess it's because in the beginning of the year when they first took the evaluation test to make sure that you weren't like dumb or something. They like test to see if you're dumb or if you're smart, and they're like, okay, they put you in whatever class. And all the dumb kids go in like the dumb kid class, and the smart kids go in the smart kid class. Apparently, I had taken that test before I actually started getting into that Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory stage, and I wasn't trying at that point. I still wasn't trying. I was still... Oh, we just found something we needed! Yeah! Now, there better be a name tag in here. What? There's not even a chest in here. Oh, that's just... No, that's just jacked up. Look how disappointed he looks now. No, that's just messed up. No! Are you... So yeah, I apparently taken that placement test before I was even deciding to try. And so yeah, I had already been placed in like the middle class. It was like the second to last class. There was like 4 level classes. One class was like, you're actually like, it was actually meant for like the it was actually meant for the slow kids. And then the class I was in was the one that was like right above that one. It's like, yeah, you're not dumb, but you know, you're not smart, that's for sure. And the class above that was like the almost advanced class. It's like, yeah, you're getting there, you know, you're not quite Rick and Morty level yet, but you're almost there, you know, you'll get there one day. And then the top class was like, that was called the accelerated class. You're in there, it's like, it's all the Asian kids and... Whoa, what kind of sound was that? All the Asian kids and, you know, my super tall friend named Jack, who was like 5 feet 9 inches tall when he was like 9 years old. He was all up in that. He was like, yeah, I'm really good at the maths. I was like, oh yeah, sure, well, I'm better. The whole year I was just, no, that's it, my life goal, I'm getting into that accelerated class. So the whole year I was doing nothing but that. But the entire year I didn't, because the teacher who was in the middle to last class, which I had been placed in because of I wasn't trying during the placement test, or I hadn't at that point assimilated myself as being a extremely high IQ genius scientist yet. So the teacher there was like, I don't know, it's like very I didn't know what the concept was back then, but it was very like passive aggressive. The teacher was like, yeah, I know you're just trying to look smart, Dallas. Don't even try with me, okay? She was just also not having any of my shit. But she wasn't like my second grade teacher where she would just be like, sit down! Like, nah, she would just not say it. But she'd be like sarcastic. She'd be like, okay, Dallas, I see that you're really smart, aren't you? The whole year. That was the teacher where every single year she had a different dyed colored hair. I think she had to have been a feminist now that I think about it. But anyways, regardless of that, yeah, she really just did not care about how impressive I was. Like the entire time I was competing with everyone. I talked about this before, but there was just this one Jewish kid who was also in that class, who was almost as good as me. When it came to the quick math, every single day we had a test. It was like a quick timed math test. You had 100 problems, and you had to complete every single one of them in 5 minutes. And I was always like first. I was like, you know what? I'm getting in that accelerated class. Frick all y'all others, I'm getting in here. This Jewish kid was almost faster than me, almost as fast. And there's also this one other girl who was who's also like pretty fast, but I was still on top of my game. And like they did all these super annoying things, like, you know, when they're trying to like when they do the test and it's like timed and they want to look like cool and stuff, they're doing all of the problems, and then they like they flip over the paper and they're like, ah, done, like out loud. It's like, bitch, shut the hell up, you cringy little punk. Oh my god, they did that all the time. They like flip over the paper and just like they just whisper like, done. Just like trying to pretend like they weren't trying to have the whole class hear them, like know how smart they are. Oh wow, you're so smart, look how fast you did that. Oh, thank you. Now of course I did that too, so I'm not gonna say I'm not to blame. This one kid came in half the year who was like, apparently like my conspiracy is that they specifically made him go into that class because Miss Simon, who was a teacher, wanted me to teach me a lesson and try to teach me like, oh, you're not that smart, Dallas. So they got this kid who was apparently like really good at math or something, and who's new to the school, and they placed him in that class for whatever reason. If he was that good, I don't know why they placed him in that class. There's a placement test, but whatever. And they placed him in there, and Miss Simon literally used him as a way to just like ridicule me in the middle of in front of the whole class. She'd be like, "All right, Dallas, what's 362 times 59?" And I'm just like, well, I mean, I'll have to do it on paper." And this kid would be like, excuse me, that would be 4,500 and something in like 5 seconds. And then she would literally, physically look over at him and then look back at me and give me an expression like, "See, you're not smart. See, look at him. He's better than you." We're talking, this is a literal teacher doing this. Like, it's like, damn, bitch, okay, shit, fuck, okay, God, whatever, God, you know, and then, anyways, I never got in that accelerated class because this teacher was just such a, she would not put up with anything. She was like, "Nah, I'm not putting you up. You're stuck here forever." I was actually, like, legit, not trying to brag, I was way ahead of, like, the entire, I finished the whole, like, math book, like, halfway through the entire year. Like, all the lessons I understood, and, like, months before they even learned it. Like, this was the class, like, they were, the kids in there, they didn't even know how to, like, look at an analog clock and know what time it was. Like, that's what this class was. It was really far behind. Meanwhile, I was out here already learning the stuff that the accelerated class was learning on my own time, because I was just trying to be so impressive. This accelerated class was already learning algebra, basically. And it was just, like, so, like, annoying. It was like, oh my god, why can't I just go out of this class already? Which basically meant that by the time I hit 5th grade, I cut that entire act, and I basically returned to my whole antics that I had in 3rd grade, and got in a frick ton of trouble for it, too. One of the times I pretended to get knocked out in class by all of a sudden, like, passing out and pretending to hit my head on the table, and then I just basically fell asleep and used that as an excuse to go to sleep for like 30 minutes. My mom was not too happy about that one. I did get placed up in the reading section, though. Like, I got put in the accelerated class in 4th grade with the reading, the, like, you know, whatever it's called. Like, it was like, at first I was in the low class and they put me in the accelerated class. I don't know why, like, it's just so annoying. I was just sitting there, like, doing nothing, like, not even talking to anyone, and they're like, "Yes, you need to go up now." Silent people who don't talk are always smart. Now, 6th grade is when things started really taking a turn because, well, at that point, it was pretty much the same thing that was going on all throughout elementary school, except, well, you actually had to see the consequences of it by something known as grades. And, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, there's not really much to talk about. It's just, in 6th grade, they all of a sudden gave you iPads to do all of your school on. And of course, no one did the school on them, but they played video games and App Store games the entire time in class. Sometimes they would open up the game, mainly me, in the middle of math class. This time I was placed in there was no like advanced math, it was just the same, everyone got the same thing. Well, I mean, not really actually. Everyone took different courses, that's what it was. But like for example, if you placed low, then you just got Algebra 1, or you just instantly go to Algebra 2 or whatever. Well, like this class, the guy's name was Mr. Sokolsky, and he was just really, really nice and really kind and really boring. And he just did not understand any kids at all. He was just so like, just not getting at anything. He was just really not, like, he was just not like down with the kids, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would open up my I'll open up the iPad and turn on like they had this game called Gangster Rio Redemption, or Gangster Rio, yeah, City of Saints or something. And Game Loft logo would blast out my iPad in the middle of class. I forgot to turn the sound off. Oh shit! And Mr. Skolsky's like, okay, let's not do that, okay, class? Like, he addresses the whole class if someone does something. Like, okay, I won't do that, considering I didn't do it, and it was just that random other guy, thank you. Yeah, he was just really, like, whatever, man, I'll show up and get my paycheck. He was, like, really nice. But he just didn't understand what was going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't understand that half the class was just playing games the whole time. You could tell, like, I mean, if someone was playing games, like, some of the, like, more smart, down-to-earth teachers that were, like, for example, like, the type of teacher that Miss Simon was if she was in middle school, like, she'd be able to understand, like, when someone was playing games, because when someone's playing games in class, like, the person right behind them is just staring at their iPad, mesmerized, like, at their screen, and it's, like, quite obvious, alright, you're playing freaking games in class, so. This one, I mean, when I first got Gangster Rio, I was like trying to play it so much, but I showed it to all my friends because it was like, you know, if you discover like a cutout piece of like a Playboy magazine back in like the 1980s, and you'd show it to all your friends like it's the Holy Grail, like, oh, look what I got, oh, look what I got, guys, I got this 18+ rated game, and I got in trouble one day, and I had to be grounded in class. My humanities teacher, and she was like, no, you gotta stay in class for the whole lunch. I'm just like, somehow I had given my iPad to them because I was gonna play it, but I got grounded, so they had my iPad and they were playing it. And then at the end of lunch, I was like, they had my iPad, they were bringing it to me, I was like, give me that, and I tried to play it in like 5 minutes of time I had left. Oh my god. Give me that. I want to play that so much. After that, we moved on to GTA 3, because that came out in 2011 on the iPad. I was playing so much of this, of the iPad games, my grades in class were obviously not doing that good, that I got sent to this teacher, this supervisor. This supervisor was, like, extremely strict. Like, you don't want to be going into their office, like, just by you going in their office, like, it's the end of days. Like, this woman was crazy. Right? She'd be like, nah, I'm not even recreate. I don't even know how to describe it. But anyways, that was that. I had to deal with that punishment. Like, just got really like mad, like all the time. 7th grade was similar to 6th grade, except it was getting to be pretty severe, like, in terms of, like, me actually having to deal with the consequences of my behavior, which I still couldn't control because, I don't know. I guess my brain just can't work on school things. Because at that point, like, basically all my grades throughout 6th grade, 7th grade were pretty much fails, Fs. I had a GPA of, like, 0 or something like that. And the principal called me into their office, and he was like, "Alright, Dallas, if you don't pick up these grades, you're gonna be held back. And we don't hold kids back in this school. We send them to school somewhere else, and we hold them back there. We send them away." I'm just like, okay. So instead of actually trying to improve my grades, I spent the rest of the year just avoiding the principal physically. Every time I would see him in a hallway, I just walked the other way. If he can't physically tell me I'm being held back, then I can't be held back, so. Because apparently I actually thought that was a valid idea. And it worked. I didn't talk to the principal or the supervisor who was in 6th grade at all after that. And somehow I didn't get held back. My grades didn't improve either. So I mean, like, well, okay. That's exactly how he talked too. He was like, "Alright, Dallas, we're gonna hold you back. We don't hold kids back in the school. We send them away. Alright, you get it? You get it? You get it, Dallas? We hold them back. We don't hold you back either. We send you away to another school where you get held back." Now he had some kind of disease and made his arm like twitchy all the time. Oh my god. Sorry. It's messed up, but it's like, yeah, it was always like twitching. Eighth grade, for whatever reason, didn't seem as bad as all the other times. I pretty much passed through 8th grade. I slid through it like nothing. Pretty sure I just passed all the classes, but I wasn't even trying still. Basically, it's like, I don't know what happened with like the difference between 7th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade. I think it's mainly just because 8th grade, like, I was just really trying super hard to get with this girl in 8th grade. Like, half the year at least. And, like, motivated me to actually, like put in effort into school for some reason. Like, I don't know why. By the way, that girl friend-zoned me like crazy later on. Well, I don't know why. Like, at first, it was doing pretty good. I wasn't even trying. I was just sliding right into that. I'll be taking you. But then after that, I was like, for whatever reason, it got super like awkward. And I was like, I don't know why. I guess it was because, like, well, I'll save the story to, like, the details of what happened in another coming up episode. But so after a certain point, something made it really awkward, and then it's like just got completely down bad, friend zone, like you wouldn't even believe it. Remember one thing she texted me, and it was so bad that, you know, I didn't understand. Like, I didn't even assume, like, the way like, I didn't even assume that she meant it in the way that she did, because I didn't even comprehend how I could be friend zoned so badly. I was like, nah, she didn't just say that. She must have meant it in some other way. She said, like, oh yeah, like, somehow, like, in class, It was one of the classes. One of the people who were sitting next to me was like mocking me about like, oh, you didn't make it with that girl, huh? Like, and she was like in the class while that happened, and it was like really awkward. And she texted me later on. It's like, oh, don't worry, like I forgive you, I forgive them. That's what best friends do. And I thought she meant like that's what best friends do. Like that's what that kid next to me, like she was talking about me and that kid next to me. Like, oh yeah, that's what friends do. They mess around with each other like that. Nah, that's not what she meant. That was unbelievable. That was like friend zone level. Like shit, man. Even to this day, like I get like cold shivers thinking about it. And after that, she like pretty much just started like messing around with me. I don't even know why. Like pulling my leg. She would text me like, "Oh, you want to hang out?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." And then she never texts back. And she'd text back like later on. She'd be like, "Oh, you want to hang out? I miss you." I'm like, "Yeah." And she would never text again. It's just like, what? Oh, you know what? Forget this crap. It went all the way throughout like 9th grade and 10th grade too, by the way. Like when I even moved to a whole different school. It was like, man, this ain't making any sense here. So yeah, that whole time was just... 9th grade is a whole different school. It was cold country school. Now, that school really all throughout 9th grade, 10th grade was just horrendous. First of all, just going from that all the way to a whole different thing, like a whole different area. There's like, I don't know anyone there. 9th grade wasn't as bad as 10th grade. 10th grade was, you know, obviously at that time you're in the dark age of being a teenager. You're the final transmission from hell, being at the final stage of puberty or something like that, and you just get all this depression and bullcrap. 9th grade wasn't as bad. The way the school ran their stuff was just super inconvenient for me. Like, I mean, I on my own, like, basically I'm pretty sure you can understand, like, from like up to this point, like, in order for me to do good and stuff, like, I need to have some kind of motivating factor. Like, it's mainly the reason why I could never just do good in school, because it's just nothing ever motivated me to. It was just never mentally stimulating enough on its own. But every time I had some kind of like energy, like, you know, some kind of like motive, like, well, I want to look like this, I want to act like this guy, or something else. It's like then I just do good without even thinking about it. Like, but I mean, this school was set up to be even worse. Because this school was like, you had, in order to literally pass the school, they had it like set up as if they were trying to recreate the environment of like an office job. Like they wanted you to make you think like you were some kind of corporate slave, and the teachers were the boss, and you called them by their first name at that school. You didn't go like Mr. or Mrs., which is weird. You called them by their first name because they wanted to make you feel like you were their employees or something. Like what? And instead of the final tests, they had you set up this entire presentation where you had to demonstrate everything you learned instead of just taking a simple exam. Now that may seem like pretty innovative off the bat, but the problem is, obviously, it would be if it wasn't run by human beings, and human beings are naturally just instinctually hardwired to be biased. So therefore, it led to them being perfection complex, and them expecting every single thing about it to be every single thing they expect. And obviously when it comes to me, I just tend to never do that. Like, I never like to do the normal, and, you know, I mean, I've never wanted to just do the exact thing that someone wants me to do. Like, I always go and do something else. That's what we're wrong about it. Like, if you didn't do everything exactly the way they wanted to, you know, not only would they just fail you in every single way, but they would also, like, you know, like, they literally tried to make it look like it's a work environment. They would be more than happy to criticize you and demean you in front of everyone, like, all the time, you know, like, as if it's like your job was on the line, like they were gonna fire you or some crap like that. And it was like, man, what is this crap? Where am I? How is this school? This is just stupid. Like, it's just torture. It's like, and you know what? No one liked it. It wasn't just me. I had the worst time. I had mental breakdowns in this place. The teachers had no sympathy. They were all super young. Some of them were only like 5 years older than me. They were like 24 years old. They were postgraduate. They had barely had their bachelor's degree, and they were running the school. It was just unbelievable, man. It was like, I mean, I literally, at one time, I had the summer school because I had to repeat, like, 10th grade, the end of 10th grade. I was seriously trying to, like, get my grades going good, like, and I was doing good. Until I got falsely accused for plagiarizing because one day I showed up to school and I was just like, oh, hey, guys, I'm gonna go onto this website and pretend like I'm plagiarizing something. Because they had these, like, these dumb websites where you could just pay for an essay to be written for you. Of course, I didn't do it because I'm just trying to humor people, as I seem like I always have. But some snitch apparently was just like, oh my god, I gotta tell the teacher. So the teacher, who was the history class, on Google Docs, they saw me write the entire essay. They were logged into my account as I wrote it. But they still marked me as a fail, just because someone accused me of plagiarizing. And I got an F in that whole assignment. And after that, man, I started slipping back into depression, and I just started failing the whole... I tried, man. Like, that school, it's like, it was different. All the schools up to that point, like, every time I tried, like, it was just easy. That school, it's like, it didn't matter. Like, if you just... It wasn't a matter of you doing a good job. Like, it was a matter of you doing exactly what they wanted you to do. Like, if you didn't do that, like, man... Oh my god, what the heck? If you didn't do that, like... Nah, forget it, like, you're failing. It wasn't a matter of effort. And it's like, yeah, I don't plan to be a corporate slave, unfortunately. As cringy and cliche as it sounds. I mean, it just wasn't a good environment. And I had to take summer school at the end of 10th grade in order to make up for the lost grade credits I had. Otherwise, there'd be no way I'd be able to make it into 11th grade. And I ended up passing summer school, but not because I actually went there, but because I had to repeat summer school. Because I failed the summer school at that school. And the reason I did was because, well, once again, it's not a matter of effort at that school. It was a matter of, you know, if you don't fit their picture, if you don't do exactly as they say, or exactly as they mentally expect you to do, like as if I'm supposed to read their mind. You know, they had this final essay, and I was already not doing good in the whole year, in the whole summer school. I had to show up 3 weeks. 3 weeks out of my summer I had to dedicate to going to this place. I could have just been doing nothing, man. Just playing Minecraft all summer, being with my friends and stuff like that the entire time. But nope, I had to sacrifice this, and at the very end, you know, you just had this final essay you had to write, and I just stayed after class because I tried to make it the absolute best, because I knew that I needed to make it the best essay ever in order to pass the class. And I stayed in a whole 2 hours after class, and the teacher was staying after class too, just for random reasons. And I finally, it was handwritten, my hand was sore and almost bruised, and I turned it in finally to this teacher. And it was like 5.5 pages of handwritten on here. And I handed it in. I'm just like, there you go. And I'm just like, please, can you pass me? I was only like 1 point away. And she just looked through the paper and she was just like, no. And she gave me like a B+ on the paper. A B+, which landed me exactly 1/2 a point from getting the exact amount I needed to pass the course for 3 weeks. I mean, I'm no, you know, like, psychologist, but if that doesn't show lack of any kind of empathy or anything, I mean, what person wouldn't just be like, you know what, you just sacrificed your whole summer to do this, you clearly spent 2 hours doing this, you clearly care, here, I'll just make your grade a passing grade. Nope. 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 Couldn't even get that. I mean, seriously, man, what kind of... And she had no sympathy. She did not care whatsoever. She didn't even say sorry. Like, I mean... I mean, like, I just don't understand, like... I didn't have anyone to pick me up from school that day. I had to call an Uber. It's like 20-mile drive all the way from there through the freaking blowing snow. If you understand how that is, it's... You don't understand. You played the game GTA 5, the very first mission. It looks like that. All right, that's a demonstration for you. And I was sitting outside in the cold, basically with my head down, because I was like, man, I couldn't even cry even if I wanted to, because it's like tears would just be frozen off my damn face. And this teacher, this smug ass teacher, same teacher who just couldn't even give me 1/2 a more point to just freaking pass me in the stupid ass class, just drives right by me. I know it was her because I saw her get in her car. She just drove right by me. I even looked up, like, slightly, like, looked. She didn't even look at me as she passed me. So man, like, some people just really should not be teachers. Honestly, like, you just should not be a teacher. Honestly, it's just not right. So, I mean, you know, you wanted a full demonstration of why I'm so messed up right now. That's basically the entire life story of school experiences up to this point. Oh my god. So yeah, and after that, 11th and 12th grade, I was basically just online school the entire way. Now, that was only like 2 years ago, so I was ahead of the curve. I was doing what all the cool kids are doing now before they all did it. I was cool before anyone else. I think I put more energy and intelligence into just ways I could rig the system than actually using my intelligence to complete the online school. Like, just different ways to basically, like, I don't know, to like rig the system to make the website think I completed a project, but even though I didn't. Yeah, I got priorities, alright, so. Also, that school that I was in for only 2 years in like 9th and 10th grade also allowed me to be able to probably, in my opinion, achieve what is the world record in terms of the lowest possible GPA. Because if you think a 0 GPA is bad, man, you just got no idea. That school it went off of like, you didn't just get A's and B's. It had like a rating system of all your work from the bottom of 0 all the way to a 4. Now basically you'd think, okay, so you could only just get 0 at most. You fail every single thing, right? Because if you have like less than a C, then you automatically, for whatever reason, this school, they consider that to be a 0. You know, like just like an F, you have less of a C, F, it's counted as a 0 in the school. Your class is counted as no credit. A C is 1, B is 2, oh wait, no. No, a C is 2, and a B is 3, and A is 4. I don't know why, like, they skipped 1. So yeah, basically you had 7 classes, but the system which determined your GPA only, like, it was only meant to have 7 classes in it. So basically, that's how the extra credit class was set up. So it always derived it out of 7. So you get an extra credit class. So what happens is, if you do good in extra credit class, and you can get like even higher than a 4.0 GPA. You can be passing all your class, like 4.0 in all the classes, and then extra credit class, you get a 4, and then you get like a average GPA like 4.5 or something. Well, the thing was, I took an extra credit class, but I failed it too on top of all the classes. So the grading system now was grading me failing 8 out of 7 classes. So I had a negative 0.5 GPA. I had a negative 0.5 GPA. Beat that. No, don't beat that. No, just kidding. Do good. Stay in school. Not a single person. But no, that's gotta be pretty impressive. I could probably apply for clown college for that. I mean, seriously, if you just get a 0, you can't apply for any college. You get that low, like, you could apply at least for clown college, like, they'll accept you in a heartbeat. You can't not win on that one. Like, I mean, it's literally unbelievable, like, failed every single class and the extra credit class. Man, I took a screenshot of it, negative 0.5. Yep, that's me. That school made you stay till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, by the way. It's ridiculous. They literally were trying to be all like, pretending like they were some kind of 9-to-5 job or some crap. Seriously, because the school started at 9 and went to 4. And it was like, man, what the heck? The previous school went from 8 to 3, which is like normal. That's what it should be. Come on. Seriously? Whoa, what the heck? What is going on here, man? Thank you. Ah. Come on, we're not gonna be doing this now, are we? We're seriously gonna be doing this again? Disappearing road crap? Oh my god. Does that mean that that means there's another update for the mod, isn't there? We had this problem once before. And the problem was that I guess the mod needed to be updated or something. Because this mod generates this terrain live. It's literally based off live satellite. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why it can't just be downloaded from an already existing database, but apparently it's not. So that means I'm not about to just start venturing out there, because for as far as I know, the road doesn't start up anywhere again. So it pretty much means we have to end off this episode here, unfortunately. Way too short, but I mean, that very long glitch in the world is probably indicative of the fact that there's either it needs to be updated or there's a problem generating it right now. So either way, that's pretty much how far we're gonna have to make it for today then. Which is about 450 miles. Alright, and it looks like this down here. In real life. Surprisingly similar, actually. Obviously with like a infinity render distance. Pretty much how it looks like. So yeah, not as far as I wanted to, but I can't make the thing work if it's not working, so I guess that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching episode 50, and next episode 51, coming up soon after this. Alright, goodbye.